Okay, you're talking like hemp, but you're using just like little part of the plant. Okay, so why you don't use it all? I don't want to say that all the products on the market are so, but
Right.
like you cannot recognize like which are good and which are bad because there is no standard. It's mostly also so.
Welcome everybody that joins. I'm really excited about today. I've gotten to know Hannah a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and I'm excited to see her hopefully at NOCO. So fingers crossed. But yeah,
I'm from Europe. It's a long way.
exactly. It's a completely different than me driving there. I'm in Utah, and NOCO in Colorado is just a hop, skip, and a jump compared to you. But I'd love for you to real quick introduce yourself to everybody. You have quite the experience in the industry, and I'm really excited to be sitting next to you, quote unquote, to have this discussion today. So yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into the industry.
Yeah, sure. So I got in the industry actually when I've been like studying the agriculture university. It been like it started in 1996 in Czech Republic, South Bohemia University, and we've been kind of like pushed to choose some kind of topic for thesis. At the university, you as a student, you have to do some thesis work. And my friend gave me this like Jack Herrer book about this like Emperor wears no clothes, and I read it like one breath. I couldn't stop. I just like read it all, and I get like so excited, and I was like, wow, this is like really big thing because till then I was like using, but like not really kind of like I don't know. I didn't have clue that this is like
Right,
agriculture crop ever,
right.
and but I have like big passion for agriculture, yeah, for farming. Before I've been studying the veterinary agriculture high school,
Okay.
so my passion was like farming and agriculture. So I was like, yeah, okay. I decided to do like thesis on hemp. And then I went through all the faculties to find somebody who will like open the thesis for me on this topic, because you cannot just like choose, like you need to have a mentor, and the mentor needs to create the topic that you sign in. So finally I find this person. I did the thesis. It was probably first thesis about industrial hemp in Czech Republic, because the time we've been just like kind of like researching the right varieties for Czech Republic climate and doing methodology for farming. So it's been really like the early stages, but I found the field close my hometown, so I've been able to go there and study like something. And yeah, that basically started my journey. Later on, I joined the NGO called Konopa, which was like promoting industrial hemp. We did some first expos in 2000, first expo 2000 in Czech Republic, and in 2001 we won the expo award like as the best exhibition because people
Okay.
really like it. And yeah, and then I continued to work for this NGO, and I started to work for the NGOs on the energy kind of issues, more like nuclear waste, uranium mining issues. And I find out that it's very difficult to explain to people. Like it's very technical topic. The people does not really want to hear these kind of like uncomfortable truths. And I was kind of like this bad boy, like telling them, or bad girl, like telling them, oh, this is like how's it, you have to see that. And it was like, no, Hannah, we don't want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then I decided, after like 8 years of my career being trying to kind of like do some good, for the planet, and try to help people understand the advantage of the renewable sources and kind of disadvantage of the nuclear power, like centralized industry under government control, subsidized big time.
Yeah.
I decided to establish my own company and just like commit my full time for hemp, for something what I believe, for something what the people have great feedbacks. They always want to hear more.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
always want to like talk more. They never complain. They always just excited, and the taste is great, and like So I established my company HEMPOINT in 2010 and started to grow in a collaboration with the organic farm in Czech Republic.
Mhm.
Like hemp.
Yeah.
We focus on the handmade harvest of the flowers since 2010, uh, much before the CBD.
Yeah.
And, but we supplied the big tea companies, so tea herbal tea companies, which started to use our hemp, which been very very clean because it's like this farm where we grow hemp. It's like 20 years pure
Yeah.
organic.
Someone asked me the other day about tea and hemp. Can you explain to me, like, how is hemp used in tea?
Uh, just like other herbs, we harvest the flowers, we clean them from the seeds and stem, and we gently dry it so the taste is good, the smell is good, and we put it in the tea bag,
Yeah.
and we
Just
also
like
have
a yeah, just like a
just like
hot tea bag.
every other herb, but it's like because it gently harvest and gently dried and gently processed and everything super gently. So it's like very like we don't damage it. Like the people
Yeah.
who harvesting hemp for extraction, they don't really care about the smell or like taste, you know. So it's like very different like way of harvesting. And also the quality, it's not such a important like organic
Oh
like
yeah.
clean, you know, but we do like food grade, so we do
Yeah.
heads up, and because we supply the big companies, so they really find us because they was looking for some like high quality product, and
Yeah.
and there is not much high quality flower product. Like everybody says, of course, oh, we are the best, or they are the best, and like everything is the best in the CBD, but nobody really can prove that. You know, like
Mhm.
ask them like how you prove the best. They send you the COA with high CBD. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, like send me more. Send me the benzoapparent content. Send me the pesticides content, heavy metal content. Oh, we don't have that. Okay, so how you know that's best? You know,
Right.
and they
Right.
kind of surprised I'm asking for that. But like these big companies, because they are mostly like global market companies, they have like very high standards. You have to fill like I don't know, like 17 pages for like what all like you doing, how you
Yeah.
doing, little step of your like chain like on production you have to describe. Then they even like counted our carbon footprint on our production, you know, to be able to really like enter their product in their like scopes of products. So it's like different requirements that the hemp people still does not really understand, that they have to kind of go for this kind of standards to be able to really go big scale.
Well, and
And
that's something that, I've seen so much is some of these experts or people with a lot of experience have operated on the black market with their own standards for so long that, yeah, if we're going to take this into real business or scalability, especially on a global scale, we've got to meet manufacturing practices, GMPs and ISO and ASTM standards. And I mean, yeah, food grade quality, right? Especially for consumables.
yeah, and as I said, yeah, the people who've been on the market, they've been doing great, even like doing not really like the biggest
Right.
markets,
Right.
and they have no really interest to kind of from their side waste money on something which does not make us money. You know, why we will like creating standards? Why we will do that? Nobody asks for it from our clients. We sell great. We don't want to go bigger because this is not really like, you know, there are this struggle with standards. So we're doing this like middle scale. It's all right. We're doing good. We're having like a lot of sales. If we want to do more, we just like go on other market in other country. But this like middle sized market where like it's not much control or much kind of like requirements for quality, you know, and regulations. So
So talk to
I,
me about how that affects our market. Like this is a sticking point for me, and it kind of upsets me when I talk about scalability and bringing hemp to main market.
Of course.
Standards are that's what I butt heads with on every level, right? And when we have companies that aren't meeting standards and they're selling product that's subpar, in my opinion, it's damaging to our industry. Where do you see it?
I mean, the standards are important from more than one perspective. Also, of course, like you as a producer, you need to have like standards to be just like ensure the quality of the product. Imagine that these like CBD products are on the market and they are kind of like produced kind of that they have to possibly help some like sick people, right? Because this is like how they usually are promoted. Oh, we curing like whatever. But then imagine that like your grandma who has some sickness and using pills start to use some product, and the product goes well with it for her.
Right.
So she stopped using the pills. But then because the product is not standardized, she got the new product, which is like same label everything, but it's like different batch. So different probably contents of the cannabinoids because this was like cheap batch, let's buy that, all different cannabinoids perfect. Don't worry, just like CBD, it's the same. Let's buy that, But of course, there is the cure effect. It's all the entourage effect, not only the CBD percentage, and then the grandma buys the product which does not work anymore for her, and but like she does not use anymore her pills, so she gets the big trouble because she has no own cure. What she was like supposed to use and was work for her, the CBD, but like whatever, this new batch does not work because there is no standard that can secure that she buys the same product, and she has no anymore these pills because she kind of like give up because CBD was this previous batch was working for her, and it's like huge problem. You're putting people in danger just because you didn't standardize your own product. So and the people does not realize that. So this is first thing, the responsibility of the producer. And then also, you want to really like go big. There is like Tesco or Walmart market. They have own standards. You also need to supply them the same things because imagine there is like Walmart putting your product on the shelves, then you supply them different batch, and there is like thousands of grandmas like your grandma complaining why this product does not working, and they will complain Walmart because they bought it from there. They will not call like the label because like who sells that is responsible. So then like you have a big problem because Walmart asking you like kind of like fine or whatever, like you need to kind of like keep constant quality. Like they with these like big distributors channels, you have like a special contract for, of course, like also they ensure that they buy certain quality, but also in the certain amount, but also in the certain quality. So if you don't supply the certain quality, you fact, and you have to pay them big something.
It's more detrimental. Yeah, these risks of cutting corners end up hurting our businesses and the industry in the long run, right? Horribly. Not just our people, but like selfishly, we cut those corners and now you're not able to sell on an international market, and that was in your business plan?
Exactly. And another thing is that like hemp industry many times complains that there are no standards, like there are no like supportive regulation, but imagine like in Europe we have this like European novel food issue, and like people like, why we have this novel food, like we don't like that, like why CBD should be in the novel food. But imagine that like the there was like a lot of this like so product on the market. I don't want to say that all the products on the market are so, but like if you cannot recognize like which are good and which are bad because there is no standard, it's mostly also so. So this so market was growing very big, and was like putting like this like medical claims on their labels, and like European Commission just like, but nobody from the hemp industry was coming to the European Commission to talk to them how to regulate this market, and telling them, look, European Commission, we know that like our market going big, but we are a responsible industry. So our lobby is going to present you next month our internal standards, how we kind of like helping self-regulate us, but we also happy to share with you, European Commission. Please tell us what your feedback. If you need to kind of change a little bit or you have some opinions, we're happy to hear that. But this is our proposal, how we will laugh that like we get regulated and help you to somehow regulate our market, because this is already how we self-regulating ourselves. But like there is no self-regulating efforts like from hemp industry at all ever. So of course, like these European people who are responsible for the like kind of like safety of the European like customers, they needed to do something. They basically needed to make some step, because like if there are like products on the market, nobody can control them. Okay, so we put them on the novel foods. There is like super long list of the requirements. If you want to sell this product on the market, you need to pass so many requirements that after that 100% the product will be safe. It's like no doubt.
Well,
And of
it's no
course you have
different.
to, yeah,
Go ahead.
you have to pay for it. You have to pay for
Yeah,
it. But
sure.
like this is our way how we like able right now regulate that. Yeah, and of course the price is huge, and also European Commission didn't really realize that they need to really understand a little bit deeper before they putting on the market, because like uh, every product it's kind of unique. Every extraction it's unique, so it's hard to kind of uh, pay such a high product every each one. Yeah, this like I don't know, like €500,000, because if
We're the
there was
same
like,
way here.
yeah, because if there was like entering like the chia seeds on the European market, they became novel food. But then like chia seeds is always chia seeds, like there it's like easy. Once you prove like chia seeds it's like safe for the humans in the Europe, then you keep selling them, and the chia seeds may be different color, but in the end like it's always chia seeds. But with hemp it's not always like hemp. It's like extracts, different extraction, different solvents, different cannabinoid content, different like that and that. And it's in the end it's like hard to kind of make like one common application for so many different products, that we will in the end like pass like application that like pass like registration of the hemp extracts, tinctures, whatever legal to be sold in Europe, because one application passed it, like was in the chia seeds. So it's really like hard, and we
Yeah.
passing these times that like we trying to put like common applications somehow, at least like make something happen, and we trying to regulate hemp industry through the standards, but still it's like very far from there. Yeah.
I compare hemp to like technology. When we first got a computer, nobody thought computers would be in every facet of our life, down to what manages our heart murmur, right? I mean, it can be in everything. Technology is everywhere. Hemp is the same way. I mean, we're applying hemp to every application in every piece of our life, from our building supplies, our textiles, construction materials, all of it, right? Health and wellness, plastic, medical, aerospace. I can't believe the number of conversations that have come up recently about getting to Mars and hemp on Mars, and hemp leaving our globe. And so I think that's pretty exciting. Where do you see big opportunity on an international level around hemp? What's the conversation really happening, or where is it happening, and what should people be paying attention to on an international scale?
Well, I think like this hype of CBD, we already passed it, yeah, and we understood that it's probably not the biggest things what we can do from hemp, because like we tried to do like biggest as we could, and then like many farmers failed and didn't get paid, and it didn't really work out. Yeah, we find out that this market has own limits, and we cannot basically sell as much biomass as we were able to grow. So now is the second chapter, which I see as a big potential, which is the fiber and the chips, like the most part of the hemp. Yeah, let's call it like the real hemp. I don't even like call like hemp oil, which been grown in US till now. It's like, from my point, it's like low THC marijuana. just like
Exactly. It's a high
my
resin. It's a
my
high resin plant, right? It's the marijuana, and then we have hemp, and that's one thing I struggle with, Hannah. I'll be honest, is when I start talking about hemp, I have to define the type of hemp we're talking about as a different product, and it's confusing when I say it's actually the same, it's just different. It's and so yeah, the breakdown of what people know is being grown versus the type of hemp we would grow for the shivs or the fiber or the protein, and yeah.
well, like if you want to understand hemp, look this like movie Hemp for Victory, and then you understand what the victory of hemp means.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a good example, especially for Americans, like who talking hemp and then like all CBD. So look the history.
I
Uh,
had someone yesterday say it well. They said CBD hijacked the hemp market. Like
yeah,
CBD
yeah.
is not the hemp market.
No, because like hemp, it's like really like also you have to look on the kind of like the plant percentage, yeah. Like okay, you're talking like hemp, but you're using just like little part of the plant. Okay, so why you don't use it all? Like and so basically like fiber, I think like the fiber is a big topic because there is I don't know how in US, but in Europe we have this European Green Deal policy, new policy for the transition of the kind of like actual economy to the bioeconomy. So replacing the fossil fuel materials, helping the carbon sequestration, uh, mm, phytoremediation, and all these kind of like different, let's say, steps what our society need to take to be more sustainable, and it's all included in this like Green Deal project or Green Deal policy. There is a lot of subsidies for the Green Deal policy, which is great. Hemp fits there
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So a lot of opportunities for the companies who want to invest in something what hemp can do, but like it's missing the budget for. And basically to make it happen, the hemp on the big level, we need to build up the infrastructure because hemp it's still like very niche market, very niche, especially like from the agriculture perspective. Yeah, very little. We have like 45,000, 50,000 hectares in all European Union. It's like 100 acres or a little bit more in European Union. Nothing. It's like when we'll be like 1 million, we can talk like
Right.
1% of the of the agriculture
Right.
hectare. It's hemp, and then already European Union will pay attention.
Yeah.
So but also European Union understanding that like industrial crops from the agriculture are important and very valuable, and European Commission need to look to that because if European Commission wants to replace the fossil fuel materials, it will be probably replaced by the plant-based material. What else, right? And then we need to find the sources from that. And there is like a lot of like fibers coming now from like Indonesia, Bali, like
Mhm.
Myanmar, like all these like Utah's fibers which are used in the automobile industry are coming from Asia basically. And
Right.
I don't know if this market's still working because like from my experience, shipments like went during COVID like 10 times higher.
Yeah.
So probably this will even like push European Commission to grow on fibers for their own needs of the fiber use, and also for this all replacement of the fossil fuel materials, we will need more industrial crops. But in the industrial crops discussion, there is always like discussion topic about okay, how much industrial crops we can allow since we don't limit the food crops. But the
Yeah.
hemp the good things because it's food crop and the industrial crop at the same time. So
Do you think they'll be grown as a dual crop like that? I mean, you think we really can grow for seed and fiber and they'll be
yes,
grown the same? Okay.
no problem. No problem. The question, of course, it's like how high quality of the products you want to use. Yeah. So if you go for like high quality seeds, then of course you get the stalk and you can process the stalk for fiber and sheaves. You probably don't get you don't
I don't
get,
get
not
textile
probably, you
grade.
don't get the textile fiber,
Right.
but you still get the fiber for industrial application, no problem. Paper, no problem. So, I mean, dual crop definitely works, not for all the application,
Of
but
course.
for many of them.
Mhm.
And still be getting a lot of sheaves for construction, which is very important part of the market for
And a
hemp.
big, it's a massive part of the market.
It's a massive still the we have to keep in mind that all these markets like agriculture or construction, it's very like let's say like all my they don't like innovations, you know. So they are very kind of conservative.
Yeah,
So
of
if
course.
we want to, yeah, so if we want to do the like more boosting the fiber, we will need to really like find the right people to start with, present well the showcase studies of like that this is really happening, and then somehow, you know, like started from like good examples, inspiring the rest of the people and the big industries, you know. But it needs to happen, and we just like need to find the sources to build the infrastructure, because without infrastructure the farmers cannot grow because they have no like place to process. And the probably the limiting things is that these infrastructures for hemp fiber, they cost a lot of money. Like one decortication line costs about like 5 million euro, you know. And this is just the technology. You need to build the hall
Sure.
around that. Then you need the harvesters for that. So it's a not like this is probably why the CBD boosted so big, because it's much
Mhm.
cheaper to produce CBD, even because you can do like small scale. I don't want to say like it's cheaper, because if
Agree.
you compare the like hectare of hemp seeds or hectare of CBD, it's not cheaper, but like cheaper to operate and get some money from. It's definitely like to do CBD, because like hemp fiber you cannot do on small scale basically. You need
Yeah,
like
we're
big scale.
talking an agricultural crop compared to a horticulture, right? Somebody that,
Yeah.
well, and when we talk, and I think this is something to put into perspective when we talk differences in the types of hemp that we're discussing, right? Volume of what you can get from 1 kilo of isolate or distillate, the amount of end product you can produce, that's a lot, right? Compared to even if it's at a 2,500 milligram bottle. If I'm growing 1 acre for fiber, I may get a row of brick or one piece of concrete, right? I'm not going to get the volume of end use product. And so the amount that needs to be grown and produced is significantly more, right? Which in turn provides lots of opportunity to our farmers. If you're speaking to your farmers, what's some advice that you'd give them? Why should they be considering hemp, knowing that the majority of the farmers have been burned, they went into CBD, you know, most of them are like, hell no, I'm not going to touch hemp. What's your advice to them? Why should they be paying attention to hemp?
Well, like right now in Europe, they cut it the some kind of accepted pesticides and herbicides for another crops. So
Okay.
the farmers will be not able to use these or grow these crops efficiently. So when I'm talking to the farmer, one of the advantage why they should look for hemp, it's because like other crops are not getting like so much economically, and I'm sure like it's like everywhere around the globe that like farmers looking for some crops which can make them money, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so if you're doing it like correct, then like you listen to the advisor, and you kind of like group of some cooperative which like able to not only use the fiber but also use the seeds or like help you like monetize your like product, then you kind of like really like good position to grow hemp, because also you can grow hemp without pesticides and herbicides, so in the end it helps you to save the money on the input.
Right.
It helps you even kind of regenerate your soil, so you don't destroying your soil, so the crops after hemp will be better. And so from the perspective of the long term, uh, the farmers should look to hemp, because hemp is a crop which help them basically
Produce
like
better yields.
give them another
Right.
option to make some money, but like
Yeah.
really like there is a lot of like, if you have the buyer, if you able to do the yield, if you have the machines to harvest that, if you have somebody on your hand to give you like advice like how to grow, and like how to kind of like figure out like all the challenges in the first year grow especially. So so there are many farmers who kind of like thinking like, oh, I will do that, I will buy this, like I will grow it, and then I figure out the harvest. I have the weed harvester, it will works. Of course, it will not, because hemp is like 4 meter tall plant, when it's like wheat is like 1 meter tall. Yeah, so you cannot really like think that hemp is something like usual, and you will figure out it with the usual machine. You need a special machine, and of course for this you need investment. So it's always the question, okay, do I really want to invest? If I want to invest, do I have like long term contract with somebody who's going to buy my crop? It's a lot of
And and
basically you
getting
need to cover the value chain. Yeah, you need to understand the value chain first, and then you keep in mind, okay, do I cover that? If I don't cover something from that, it's like not 100% sure you kind of succeed, because you can fail on this like gap on your value chain. So basically, it's important to understand the value chain first,
yes.
talk with somebody who can help you figure out each part, and then find out the right varieties to grow. In US, there are no right varieties, so the people really need to find the supply of the right varieties, especially for fiber, probably from Europe, maybe China, but China officially does not allow export of the Chinese varieties abroad. Of course,
Mhm.
people doing it, but if you ask like officially, as I did, the Yunnan
Mhm.
province Institute for Industrial Hemp, if they can export their varieties, they was like, oh Hannah, sorry, I know you great person. We will be happy to like
Just
get
you.
by you distributed like our varieties, but basically like our government does not like legally
Yeah.
approve the export, and so there are some people who does that, but I don't do these things because I like to work with the people. I don't want to get anybody in the trouble.
Mhm.
Uh,
Well, and
the
I think that
smallest myself.
this is a good example, right, of where our industry really is and what we're capable of doing and where hiccups are. People say all the time, if hemp is so great, and why, as we're talking to people that aren't in the industry, they'll say, if it's so great, how come it's not available everywhere? And this is a good example, right?
No,
It's
because it's
not
basically not easy. It's
exactly.
basically not easy. Yeah, because like you really need to put a lot of money to be able to cover all the value chain. Then you
Yeah.
need to find the right responsible person who can run this machine, which is also like not everybody like from the street you find him as a homeless can like start to like operate the decortication line. It's like kind of
Right.
like automatized, like, or half automatization, like computer work machine, where like you need to like experience like engineer to manage that, and the investment, it's not small, and then you need to find who is going to buy that, and most the people who is going to buy your product are the big industries. Yeah, like you need to find like I don't know, like in Czech Republic is a like example. Yeah, like the Skoda auto Skoda. Yeah, it's like our like national brand of autos, and then the cars, and then they get sold to the Volkswagen. But anyways, but they still importing Utah for their biocomposites of the cars. Yeah, and we come to them and we ask them, okay, do you will be interesting to buy our hemp fiber? They was like, all right, tomorrow, no problem, Hannah. We sign with you contract tomorrow. Are you able to supply us this huge, like they said some numbers, amount of fiber with this very high quality requirement, and secure us for this supply for next 3 years? Because if we're going for like change this material, we need to change our technology, and we are not going to change the technology since we have no secure the supply.
Right.
And this is the like big issue, because these people
Exactly.
are not like serious. The people kind of, oh, maybe I will try that, because it's like kind of fancy and like everybody talks about that, and I want to be kind of like, in. So I tried hemp, but they don't really like understand. They need to count. They need to really like commit to that. They need to really like find the like investor and the skilled people to help them create the project and really like build it up from the seed to the end of the product. Yeah, because also if you have like big machine decortication line which like supplies some big Skoda auto, you need to have like huge supply. So you need to figure out the farmers, and the farmers need every year the seed. So you need to even like have ensured the seeds for the farmers. So
Yes.
it's like so many steps, and so long value chain, and we all only talking about the fiber output, like even like no textile. Yeah, so
Exactly.
there is like much more like steps to make a t-shirt. There is like 15 more steps from the fiber to make a t-shirt. Yeah, like based on hemp. Yeah, because like
Yeah.
cotton is different technology than hemp, so you need to have a little bit like different machines.
Yeah.
So
Like a
everything
secondary
possible,
processing facility, pretty
everything
much.
possible, just like the people cannot like make just kind of like, I'm interesting, but I'm learning, I'm going around, I'm talking to the experts, I'm trying to understand, I'm committing my time to really get deep dive into that. And after two, I don't know how long somebody needs, I find a group of people who can help me build up this project. I'm paying everybody, and I'm making that happen because this is my passion, and I find the source for it, and everything like really like working. But it's like business plan, like everybody, but it's like a little bit more difficult, probably a lot more difficult business plan than for the bakery. Yeah, if you want to
Oh
have a
yeah.
bakery, you just find somebody who knows how to bake the bread, and everybody eats bread, so you just bake the bread, and like you find the local market.
Well, you
Yeah.
have your basic products. You have your flour that's already come from and been processed and given a food grade quality. Earlier when you said, there aren't all of these standards, and we're not going to see it in mainstream until it's there. It was put into perspective for me when somebody said, when you walk into a grocery store and buy a can of soup, you know what's in that soup, and you know it's been processed at food grade quality because the liability. When I go in and buy a bottle of CBD oil, none of those standards exist, right? And so I think that's the same. And like you said, it's one end product, but each of those pieces and parts that aren't necessarily the hemp, they don't exist for hemp yet. And so, yeah, I'm,
So we now working on this ASTM sustainability standard. We having
yeah,
like brainstorm committee meeting on Friday. I'm really looking forward, because after years working with the ASTM on standards, we get to the point that we want to create the sustainability standards for, or sustainable standards for hemp, because many these hemp companies selling their product like kind of like hemp, it's great, it saved the earth, it's like sequestrate carbon, like all these kind of um I will say like greenwash terms, because if this company does not really do, just like kind of like copy pasting general terms, but they are not really somehow proof in their value chain, it's just greenwashing by the company if they use them. Yeah. So
and that's what's
basically
happened. That's part
it's
of
a
our
happen big
market
time.
problem.
I hate that.
Yes.
I hate that because there are like people who selling like conventional product. Uh, they buy the extra, whoever sell them like super cheap. They cheat on people, cheat on the customers, and
Yep.
and then they, even though like they use this like greenwashing, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
So I really want to create like or help create these sustainable development standards. We created actually with the group of people I've been working on the scheduling of cannabis and the WHO, and then in the United Nations created this book cannabis
Yeah.
and sustainable, how is it, development, which is possible to download online. And today I've been talking to somebody that like maybe we find somebody who wants to do it in English, like the re-edition, and which we have prepared. We just need to find sources for it. And this is like really like basic document that we can use for like the policymakers to help us implement
Yes.
some some requirements for cannabis and sustainability in their regulations, you know. But like of course everything coming from the industry, and the industry needs to really have the own effort on the standards and self-regulation to be able to go to talk to the regulators, because regulators, they don't understand our industry, they don't fucking understand it. And we
Agreed.
cannot accept that they will understand how they should regulate us.
Yes.
God, we don't want them to regulate us. I don't like that, because they don't understand that, and if they will
Right.
regulate us, we will never be happy. So
Well,
we should.
and regulations come when they don't understand, right? Because they're going to stop the risk and put these. I mean, what I see happening is our lawmakers are saying, hey, we don't understand risk or how to fix this, so we're going to stop it until we figure it out. And instead of saying, here's these rules or standards or regulations amongst steps to get there, they're just squashing it. I mean, in the state of Utah, consumables are with hemp and CBDs are pretty much, or in CBD is pretty much not, it's not legal anymore. So you can't take CBD gummies or make CBD gummies or have smokable flower or so those kind of things are, yeah.
And I think everybody should start with like really the like understanding the value chain, and like understanding the source of seeds, you know, and trying, because also like what I find out like very very kind of weird, or I don't really like that, because in Europe we have like regulated like all the market with the hemp seeds, and
Yeah.
there it's like high quality, and like the registration process of the European seeds takes like 3 years by the third party. So if I want to register the new variety, I need to give like I don't know how many few kgs to this regulator body. They will do independent test for the morphology stability, and then the yield stability, and then if all how I describe it is going to happen by their testing, they will register that first on the national level and then on the European catalog. And
Yeah.
and all the varieties which are legal in the European Union, which is like 70 varieties, not all of them are kind of commercial available, but many of them are.
Sure.
They are like sold on the market with the proper label, with the proper certificate of origin,
Hmm.
where it's written what's the germination, what's the purity, you know, like you buying the seeds in US, and of course they cost between like 10, maybe 20 euro, the most expensive one, you know, kg, 1 kg,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
more than like 2 pounds or something.
Yeah.
And then you go US and you want to buy hemp seeds, which is like this low marijuana seeds. They cost like one seed, I don't know how much, like dollars.
Yeah.
And then you buy the seeds, and when you buy them, they give you the seeds for such a high price, which are like full of something green. They are not even cleaned.
Hmm.
Yeah. They have no certificate of any like purity or germination ever, and you pay such a high price. So this is, and you still call them like hemp seeds, you know. I was like,
Yeah.
come on, this is not
You
really
gave
correct.
you gave a really good point in your presentation at the World Ag Expo where you talked about that in the, I think you said in the UK that, correct me if I'm wrong, but that the certified seeds, you can buy certified seeds and you can breed them for yourself, but you cannot sell them, right? After you've bred and you have seeds, you can grow them, but you cannot sell seeds that are not certified seeds. Is that right?
Yeah, if you want to
Yeah.
do like the propagation or multiplication, you need to have like which means like seeds for reselling, you need to have agreement by the breeder. Of course, you're using his seeds for your like benefit, so of course you need to have
Bingo.
agreement. This is kind of like super clear, yeah, like
Yeah.
to me, yeah. And somebody just like, oh, I'm doing propagate the seeds because you sold me the seeds. I was like, come on, like this is not your seeds. You didn't put like 15 years effort like breeding and stabilizing this variety to and registering it another 3 years. So it's kind of, very
Well, and that's
unrespectful.
where you lose the IP, right? Like you said, it's hard work coming into what's happening here, and there's no protection. And so I kind of understand also, when I was going to ask you, where do people go to find these resources? And I get it that it's difficult, because if I'm protecting my 15 years of hard work, as much as I want the industry to move forward, that's hard to hand over when there aren't those standards or regulations to kind of protect what I've done so far, or what some of our farmers or cultivators have done. Where do you see that headed in the future, and what resources do people have?
I think like there is a global market, OECD, kind of regulations for like seeds trade globally.
Mhm.
And it works for like corn and like wheat, like
Everything
so.
else.
But for hemp, we don't respect that.
Yeah.
So I hope like sooner or later, like because all the European seeds are OECD registered, or most of them. So you buy the seeds and you have to like import them anywhere in the world with like the same requirements like for the other crops, which is how it should be, right?
Yeah.
And also if you do the propagation, you need to kind of like ask the breeder. Also for the propagation, you cannot use the seeds, because the seeds which are sold for production are different grade and quality that the seeds which are needed to be used for the propagation, which are like highly selected, higher quality, so
Yeah.
you basically should not use the seeds for cultivation, for propagation, because this is not the right seeds to be used for that. So and of course, when you do the propagation, you should pay the royalties. So when you do the yield and you do the sales, you should pay a little bit back to the breeder, to the owner of the variety,
Who
because
did the work?
IP, they did the work, you benefiting on, so you should share your a little bit, but it's
Success.
something. Come on, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so clear to me, and the people still asking like, how's it? I was like, just like think about it.
Yeah.
And maybe you get it. No, I'm joking, but
I
and the people.
totally I totally get this. Where I struggle is, like you said, people are trying to be the first and the best. And I hear that a lot, right? That I'm the best and I have the best and I can do the best. But like you said, seeds are coming from other people's work. And yeah, this is a part that I really have to step back and respect, sitting in the role that I'm in, when I'm like, hey, I want to share everything, you're doing it right and highlighting it. But where is that boundary, and what does that look like?
Yeah, there is another aspect maybe good to mention. What okay, like where it's coming, all the cannabis, yeah, it's coming originally from India or Nepal, or like all this like Pakistan, Afghanistan region,
Right.
yeah. What probably some travelers bring from there and bring it to California and then started to breed it and created Jaghara, right? But and then they start to sell their varieties, yeah. But this is like variety from maybe India, Nepal, somewhere there. And did these people who was like maintaining those varieties there for thousands of years get at least like any coin, or some money or some benefit from that?
Right.
And these people like benefiting on uh, on um, on this like traditionally used cannabis plant in these like rural areas? Not. And this is also not correct. So I
Right.
mean, like in respect of other people's work, we always have to think like, okay, we're using
Yes.
something, who created, like, okay,
Yes.
like if we appreciate the work of the other people, we should pay for. This is like just like part of the human beings which makes us human. So we cannot like, this is like where the all collaboration starts. Like
Yes.
how you want to collaborate and create some benefits if you just like stealing stuff from the other people,
Yeah.
especially from these like poor people in the like India. In the India, nobody ever like think like bring little part of all the like seeds sold in US ever like back or in Holland, and we trying to kind of like create some campaign on the traditional use of cannabis and help to protect these land races, because this is not really correct that like all these seeds was like spread around the world, and the people who was like maintaining them for like thousands of years have like still nothing from
Are
it,
being
living
cut out.
through even like big trouble because of the international regulations. They cannot like grow them and like use them, and like getting in the trouble, like women's getting in the jails because they're using cannabis. It's really happening in India, and the international community does not care ever like what's going on, where this land rice is coming from. Do we kind of have some commitment for these people who was like maintaining them for thousands of years, what we can do for them, how we can
Right.
help them. i've
Right.
been like doing I've been doing like with this like group of people, this lobbying on the United Nations, and there been like nobody helping us, nobody like supporting us. It was so hard to get like funding for like be able to join these meetings and create some kind of like lobby there. So all these like cannabis people around the globe, they making huge money, they are the best, and they don't really like share. At least, okay, don't share with the Indian people, I don't think they care at all. But like if you really want to like help cannabis, like you should look like what's wrong and where we can put our effort. And the wrong thing is really the international regulations, and there we
Yeah.
need to change it. And there we need to, yeah, kind of like unify like our efforts and find a budget and go to lobby and create some efforts on this international level. and
Yes.
and I've been going there for like 3-4 years, and every year there will be like 3-5 people who've been like struggling on shortage of the money to even like get there and like exist. And it's so like how these people can say they
Yeah.
are the best. They ever like didn't send any penny to those people who just like lobbying for them
For
basically.
us, for their business.
Yeah, for their business. and
Yeah.
and they never and I was like trying to call them, and they was like, of course we help you, but never really like anything like come from it.
Hmm.
So I think it's a
I'm,
little bit kind of like shady, like like what means the best. Yeah, I think the best means like being like human and act as a good human, like caring the planet and caring the people around yourself and like spreading love. Yeah, and we are not good there yet.
yeah,
As a
I agree with
human.
you. I think what you said is a clear depiction of what's happening, right? And even down to our rural area farmers. Our farmers are not taken care of in this industry or haven't been, and
No.
it's these processors or distributors or dispensaries that are banking, and our farmers are starving. They're losing the risk is really high for them. And I think that this is a good example, right? Going back and taking care of where that crop came from, and back to the seed, taking care of the people and not forgetting who's in that supply chain. It's a conversation that comes up a lot for us in the association, and making sure that people that you're committing with or working with have your back. And how do you do that? It's why I really want to, or have created an opportunity for people to get together and discuss this specifically. I'm going to raise my hand and commit to the global standards. Um, I don't have an invested interest, so it's tricky for me in the sense that I'm not hands on, and a lot of those discussions are for people that are actually processing. But however, I can get those people to you, Hannah, and around that table, I commit to doing so, because I'm with you. Until these standards and international standards happen, we can't filter out some of the things that are going wrong, and we can't elevate the standards for those that are doing it right. And so
Yeah.
rising
Yeah.
all tides definitely rises all boats. So
Yeah, and this plant is really amazing teacher. Like I've been like with her on my journey like 20 years, and I'm still learning. So I never say like I'm the best, because like more I know, less I know. And I'm trying to just like share my knowledge. So when we sell these like seeds for like farmers, we I just like do the consulting for free basically for these farmers, because they have a lot of questions, especially these US farmers, and they don't know. And they wanna grow, but they don't know. And I don't wanna like see them failing. I wanna be them successful. I want
Yeah.
them like to come next year and buy the seeds again, or like find the road like how to grow hemp. And basically I'm like giving them my know-how for free, because I'm happy them to see grow and be successful. And like if I just sell them the seeds, they will never be successful. They will fail first year and they will never get back to me.
Well, and not
And
only that, but then they lose and it tarnishes. They're not going to go out and say hemp is a great thing. They're going to go out and say the opposite. Hemp is terrible and advise all their neighboring farmers not to grow it. Right. And then it's, yeah, this uphill battle. I have an advisor that said the other day something pretty powerful. He said, an entrepreneur provides, what did he say? Resources or value, right? And that's what makes an entrepreneur successful, is finding ways to provide service and value for others. And you've done an incredible job at that. And I think it says a lot for leaders in this industry that are willing to say, hey, I'm going to share my knowledge to prevent you from loss. I'm not in this to win it for myself. I'm in it for all of us and for the industry, and because of what hemp provides to everybody else. So I commend you, and I encourage anybody that has questions, reach out to either Hana or I. I'd love to connect you. Hana, I'd love to invite you back and kind of talk about seeds or
yeah,
farming,
yeah, we
however
can
you,
we can talk more. We can talk more about the farming, because
yeah.
this is my passion, this is my background, and I think it's important for the farmers to kind of just like see somebody who can like share the knowledge, because like farmers from farmers always like learn much better.
Yes,
So whoever
I
farmers see
love it.
that, please don't hesitate to reach me out. I'm happy to get on the call with you and help you grow hemp. It's my passion and I love to do it. And I
Awesome.
think it's great experience for you. Even you don't succeed first year, but you will get your lesson, and sooner or later you will succeed. I wasn't successful from first year at all, so you
Yeah.
also can like have like a high expectation that first year I make like big money. Yeah, it's bullshit. Everything like needs like kind of yeah, time and
Learning. It's a
understanding.
learning curve. It's new. Yeah, you wouldn't be successful or have your best yields your first year unless it's beginner's luck, and then it's usually a disappointment moving forward. So yeah, I'm with you. Don't expect to win big right off the bat, but surrounding yourself with people like Hana and her connections are definitely where it's at. So I really appreciate you joining me today. Thank you. Thank you. I'll send over an edited video of this for you. For everybody else, join or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Global Hemp Association. It's also on our podcast on Anchor, Moving Forward with Mandi Kerr. And don't hesitate to reach out. Other than that, thank you very much, and we'll talk tomorrow. Okay, see you then.
Thank you, Mandy. Talk soon.